Okay, so now I have these here are already textured as I did in the previous video, and I am going to add some sand texture to these to more pronounce it and make it so there are no smooth edges. So it'll also take paint better that way, because it'll seal in all these small holes and cracks and things like that along the edge. And flat surfaces like here will get textured as well, and it will unify the piece. And when I paint it and put it out on display, it'll have a better look. So I have two methods I'm going to use. One, I have this is a mix of a whole bunch of different types of grit and rock and sand and all sorts of different things. Whenever I get a new batch, I add to this, and so this has multiple different kinds of ballast in it. But I also have this large bag of sand, which you can pick up at a hobby store very cheap, which will be the largest amount of what's here, is a fine sand. It's clean, it's purchased that way. I think it was only a few dollars for 5 pounds of it, so it goes a long way. I'm going to show you first how to glue on some sand, and I will take just a tray and add some glue to it, and yeah, this is the fun part, and just enough, and using a brush I will brush it on into location, using a spoon, sift it into place, and we'll end up with a sand texture along this edge. The other way, which I mentioned in the video, was to actually make a grit paint, and you can just take some acrylic paint here, and I want it to be a little bit gray, so I'm just going to make a little bit of gray very quickly, and I am going to spoon in with a tablespoon of sand and add it right in there. And of course we just have to mix it in. And I'll have this very pasty paint, but it's gray, and it's textured. So when going back to this, I can paint this on. It is not as easy to work with, but I don't have to go back and paint it. So this also will work as doing almost the same as this, but this has the paint already mixed in, and because of that, it can become a little bit more tedious to paint this on, as you're trying to force the paint into the cracks with texture on it, whereas this method, you are applying the sand and then you can use a more watered down acrylic paint to paint this surface, and it'll run into the cracks easier and you'll have a little bit more control. So either method will work just fine, and you'll end up with a textured surface along your rock. Okay, see you next time.